Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel once again. I'm happy, very happy that we are back again for this tutorial. So the tutorial we are going to have today is on a wrapped top. Okay, you can see on the screen the wrapped top. So I'm going to show you how you can achieve a wrapped top right from your basic bodies. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is to fold my paper. You can see I have my paper in here, but because it's a wrap top, I'm going to fold it. I'm going to have it unfold. You can see that. So having it unfold right now, you can see the folded edge and the open edge. So all I'm going to do right now, as I folded it, I'm going to draw my basic lines. Okay, so I'm going to draw all my basic lines, starting right from the shoulder to the bust point. If I'm making use of the under bust, okay, I'll also draw the under bust line, my waistline, and my full length for this wrap. Alright people, so you can see what I have in here right now. So remember, my paper was on fold. Do you remember? That was the first thing I did. I folded my paper and I created my shoulder line, my chest line, my bust points. I didn't put under bust because it's not time for me to use it yet. My waistline and the length of my top. Okay, so looking at this, you can see I have the basic lines, and I believe you know how these lines are gotten. Okay, but I'll just explain a little bit for you once again. This is my shoulder line. So as my shoulder line, I take all my measurements starting right from the shoulder. That is all my vertical measurements. So the first vertical measurement I took is the chest line. How did I get the chest line? I got this chest line using my bust circumference divide by 6 plus 1.5. If you have been following my videos, you will see I do that all the time. Your bust circumference, you divide it by 6. The result, add 1.5. It will serve as your chest line. Okay. Alright, so now coming over to the bust point, you place your tape on the shoulder and get your bust apex. That is the highest point of your bust. Now I took my waistline. You can see this is where my waist is located, and I now took the length where I want the top to be. So the next thing I did right now, after creating my all these vertical lines, is my armhole line. So you know my armhole, I now came down by 1 inch. Okay, that is the shoulder line. Before I did that, I first of all took my 3 inches by 3 inches standard neckline, which works for almost everybody. Then having that 3 inches by 3 inches, I dropped by 1 inch. Okay, so the calculation I made at 8 inches, I added 1 inch, which I dropped. That is, I have 9 inches to the chest line. So I found the midpoint from this shoulder drop to the chest line, and you can see is 4 inches. So for the front, we always go in by 0.75, which is also standard and works for everybody too. Okay, so I connected with my straight line. Okay, then I also used my curve rule, okay, to connect from that midpoint to touch the chest line. You can see that was how I kept my ruler. Alright, so having done this, the next thing I did is to locate my darts. How did I locate my darts? I started from my shoulder again. Okay, so the principle of all that starts from the shoulder, and from the shoulder measurement at 12 inches. Okay, placing my tape on the shoulder, your dart has to start at 12 inches. You can see my dart started at 12 inches from the shoulder, and it ends at 22. So you can see it started at 12 inches and it ends at 22. That is the principle, unless you have maybe some exceptional case. Okay, All right, so after this, the next thing I did is to share to get my bust span. That is the distance between my nipple to nipple. I divided it by 2. You can see, placing my tape on the nipple to another nipple, divide by 2. This is what I got here. All right, so now at this point, the next thing I have to do is to draw the dart leg. Okay, you can see the dart leg, the one I have in here. So coming over to the waist, I share 1-inch dart, okay, for this tutorial. So I'm using 1-inch dart, which I shared 0.5, 0.5, and I connected it back to where the dart started and bring it back to where the dart ended. Now the next thing I did was to take my circumferences, my bust circumference divide by 4. This is it, and my waist circumference divide by 4. I have it here, and I added 1-inch dart. That is what you saw there. Then coming over to the length, I took my hip circumference divide by 4. Now you can see I made some dotted lines here. This is my bust radius. Okay, I will be making use of the under bust letter. Okay, after explaining in this simple manner, I will impute my under bust. Okay, but for now, my under bust is 14 and my bust point is 10.5. So I just took the difference, which is 3.5, and I turned it all around. Okay, it's going to serve as a guide for us because this is exactly where the bust is going to sit. Okay, so we'll be using it to guide us. All right, so now what I did was to trace. Okay, with my tracing wheel, I traced everything I have here. That is how I came over to this. Okay, so I believe you understand it right now. So you can see this is the full front bodies, right now. So the first step we are going to take now is a wrap top. Okay, the first step we are going to take now is to extend our neckline. So I'm going to extend my neckline now. You know I had natural neckline of 3 inches, but I'm going to make use of 4 inches. That is the first thing you do. And the second thing we are going to do right away is to come from the outer dart leg by 2 inches. Okay, from the outer dart leg 2 inches. And at that point, I'll also go up again by 2 inches. So now I'm going to draw a straight line from that point to connect the 2 inches. Okay, so that will serve as where our belt is going to be located. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect this point and the 4 inches point. So I'll be using my curve rule right now to get a sweet curve at that point. So you can see what I'm doing right there. So I'm going to, draw. All right, so now I've gotten this line. You can see what I have now. You can see the bust circumference. Why I place the bust circumference is to make sure I don't have my bust coming out of this dress. So you can see where my bust is. That means from the bust circumference I still have like 1.25, okay, inch to cover my bust. That is why I have this bust radius in here. All right, so now I'm going to extend this line down here. Okay, so to extend this line, I'm going to take the length of from the center front. Please, this is the center front. Okay, CF. So from this center front, I'll take my measurement from here, and here I have 6.25. I'll place it back on the hip at 6.25. So I'm going to draw this line, extend it to the desired length. Okay, all right, so this is what we'll be having for our wrap top. All right, people, so you can see how I achieved my princess dart right now. So I want to also explain something to you. If, assuming you are not making use of the princess dart now, I'm pretending covering the princess dart, you want to hold your dart. So if you want to hold your dart, remember the principle of the back length and front length. Back length and front length means from the bust point, you are going to take the difference of your back length and make a mark to it. I have 2 inches for my back length and I'm going to share it. So I'm going to also, I'm going to come down. I want to check the difference I have from the bust point to where my dart started. So it started at 1.2. So this is my bust point, and on this line I'll also come in by 1.2 before connecting my darts. Okay, so if you want to know more about this, please join our paid online class on beginners courses, so you'll be able to understand what I just did right here. Okay, so this is my dart if I'm closing, if I'm using my basic dart. You can see. So what I'm going to do is this. My back length is shorter by 2 inches. So if I'm using my basic dart, I'm using this dart and this dart alone. So it means I'll be holding this dart on my fabric. I'll also hold this on my fabric. So once I hold this on my fabric, the length of my front will definitely match up with the back. Okay, you just hold it your basic dart. Then if you're making use of a princess dart, then we are going to extend this line to the bust point. Okay, if you're making use of the princess dart, then I'm going to extend this line. Okay, so let me just extend the line to show you what you are going to do. Okay, can you see? So I'm going to extend this line. Let me use another marker for you so you understand what I mean. So the red marker now line shows the bust that I'm going to close for the princess dart. If you are making use of the princess dart, I believe this is very clear. Can you see? So if you are making use of the princess dart, this is what you are going to make. All right, people, so you can see if you are making use of a princess dart, it means your dart is going to start from the bust point because you need to close it up. Okay, for the part of the basic dart, I came in by 1 point, the same distance I have here to here, because I'm holding it. I'm not cutting off, I'm holding it on my fabric. So that the princess dart, you need to cut off the princess dart, so it has to get to the bust point. So for that, I'm going to retrace I'm going to correct my princess dart right now. It has to come all the way from the bust point so that when we cut it, it will really balance up. Okay, so I'll be using my red marker to reconstruct my princess dart. Can you see? So we are no longer making use of this initial one. Okay, so this is out of it. So when you are cutting your princess dart right now, you are going to cut through this line, passing the bust point while you open up your bust dart. I believe you understand it right now. So these are the 2 ways you can cut this your wrap dress. But remember that for the princess dart, you are also going to extend this line to the hem. Okay, we are also going to extend it to the hem. All right, so if you want to make use of a bustier, I need to introduce to you also what you are going to do. All right, beautiful people, so you can see now I've cut off the princess dart part because I have so many lines here. I don't want those lines to confuse you. So that is why I just cut. You can still see the shape of the wrap top. You can see the red line going to the hem. So right now I want to show you how you are going to make use of this wrap top for a princess bustier. Okay, so for the princess bustier, what you are going to do now is you can see my under bust point which I just drew. So now we still have our center front. Okay, and this is our waist line. So right now we want to contour our lines. So you can see my bust band remains where it is, 3.5. okay, so this is the 3.5 line, but I'm going to draw it up now to make it a little more obvious. So the 3.5 line, you can see them. So right now I'm going to draw the line. Let me use my other marker so as to make it clearer to you. Okay, that is why I cut it off the princess that I've already made, so I can make a bustier for you. So now you can see that at this point of our bustier, we are going to go in on the center front part by 0.5, the way we usually do, and come down by 1.5. Then from the bust point, I'll come down by 1 inch, okay? And on the waistline, okay, let me just connect the ones I've came down with. I came down from the bust point by 1 inch. This is 0.5 towards the center front, and this is 1.5 as well. So what I'm going to do now is to connect. You can see how I'm placing my rule to connect. I'm connecting this point to this point, and I'll flip my ruler and connect. Can you see my connection right now? So I'm going to also come to the waistline and take the measurement of 0.5, and this part 1 inch, okay, because of your tummy. So I'll connect to this way and connect to this point. Can you see? All right, so right now the next thing I want to do is to take the measurement of my waist so as to close up this. Right now you can see the princess that is still where it is. Remember, we took our measurement of the armhole, the measurement of the armhole running through this way. You saw how we did it, of course. Okay, so I just cut off the princess that so we can give room to create the bust here. All right, so I'm taking my circumferences right now, starting from the chest line. This is my chest line. Okay, so this is my chest line. I'm going to take the circumference of my bust divided by 4, starting all the way from the center front, and this is the mark I have in there. Now I'm also going to take the measurement of my under bust divided by 4. Okay, this is what I have. I'll replace the 2 inches. This is what I have. Then coming over to the waist divided by 4, then I'm going to replace the 1.5 inch. Okay, so right now I'm going to connect to from the chest line, okay, to the waistline. You can see what I have in there. So I'm going to cut off this dart, but before that, remember that we have our waist dart. We have the dart ending at 22 inches, you remember, okay, which is this point, and I'm going to extend the line. Okay, so my dart will come this way, can you see, and it's going to return back. Can you see? It's going to return back. Can you see? So this is what you have, and that's why I cut off this paper. So coming over to the hip, my hip, I'm going to connect my hip. Okay, and this is the connection of my hip. All right, people, so I'm going to extend my princess dart, okay, by 1 inch. I'm supposed to add another pepper in here, so let me just make up for that part because it's very important. I'm adding up pepper because I have a little shortage of my pepper in there. So this is so important because you need an extension of the line. Okay, all right, so now I have my extension, so I'm going to extend by 1 inch or 1.25 as you desire. Like I always say, it's better you have a shortage, you have an excess than you have a shortage. So I just follow the original princess dart line and connect to my extension, and you see, then I'll bring it back here. I'm taking it back here, okay, to my chest line. Can you see? So this is what you are going to have. But then remember, we've not closed our bust dart. So closing our bust dart right now means I'm going to come down from the bust point by 2 inches for me. You know your back length and your front length differences. I'll connect it back from the bust point. I'll come down a little bit by 0.75. I'll connect back and back to the chest line to close up my bust dart. Okay, so people, you can see why I cut off the pepper, and at least you know it's simpler now for you to understand. So what I'm going to do right away is to cut out and close up my bust dart. So now I'm going to cut my top. My top is ready for the front. Okay, that is the front part of this top. Okay, so I'll come over okay, I'll cut following the princess line. Can you see? Then I'm going to, all right, so now I'll cut off this other darts. Okay, follow the under bust line. Can you see? So this is what you're expected to have if you are making use of a bustier. So I'll just cut off here and close up my bust dart. Can you see that? So it's as simple as this for your wrap top. So I believe you've gotten the principle behind the wrap top. Okay, so any kind of wrap top you see is a bustier, is a plain wrap top, you know what to do. Okay, it's your style, it's your design, you do what you want to do. So this is what I'm going to have for my front wrap top right now. So this wrap top you are seeing here, I'm going to cut 2 times of it. I'm going to cut 2 times of this and 2 times of this. 2 times of this means, all right, so you can see this is the basic bodies for the back for this wrap top. And like I said, my front length is longer by 2 inches, and that is that 2 inches that I imputed there. So my back length here is 15 inches, my front length is 17. So 17 take away 2, take away 17, take away 15, I have 2 inches I use for my bust dart. So you can see all the lines I made there. Remember, the neckline was extended by 4 inches, so I extended my neckline from the center front back as 4 inches, then connected to a 1-inch neckline. Okay, I needed a high neckline because the front is already a V and deep. Now you can see my chest line. Remember how we got it? Your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then finding the midpoint here, I took 0.5, okay, which is standard, 0.5 for the back. Then my dart, all darts for the back start at 10 inches. You can see where my dart started at 10 inches and also ended at this point. So what I'm going to do now, you know it's a wrap top, I'm going to extend. Okay, remember the front length I took was 25, so I'm going to take away 2 inches and extend my line at 23 inches now. Okay, so this is the half scale body. For the full scale bodies, I'm going to add up my pepper now and extend it. Let me do that for you to see. All right, lovely people, so you can see I've just added more pepper to accommodate my full scale pattern for the back. So now you can see the length of the front length is longer by 2 inches. So the full length I have in the front length is 25, so it means my full length for the back will be short. You can see I have 23 inches. So even if you are making a gown, you keep removing the 2 inches front length and back length differences, because once you close your bust dart, everything will rhyme up immediately. Okay, all right, so now you can see the darts for the back. All darts for the back starts by 10 inches. You can see my 10 inches and it still ends at 22 inches. So now I might decide to hold my dart for the back, and I might decide to also make a princess dart. Okay, so for me to make a princess dart so that the front and the back will look alike, I'll also go around I have 10 inches, and this is the midpoint, 5 inches. I'll come down by 1 inch to have a good curve. Then I'm going to place my rule to the point I need my princess dart. Okay, so I'm going to connect my princess dart, okay, for the back, and I've extended also by 1 inch for the back. Okay, so 1 inch for the back, because the back does not have a bustier, so the accommodation will be shorter than the front. Okay, so this is my princess dart right away. Okay, so you can see I connected it to where the dart started. Okay, because we are not closing any bust dart. So now the next thing I want to do is to contour my line. Remember, this is the back. We are going to contour our back line. I'll come in by 0.5 for my for my contour line, and I'm going to extend it to this is the half, or let me say it's the across back line. So I'll take the measurement I have from the shoulder to this point, 5 inches, the midpoint of the armhole, 5 inches. Then that's where I'm going to contour my line. I'll take my line to that point and bring it back to where the dart stops. Okay, so I have from this point 1 inch. I'll raise 1 inch up and bring it back to 1 inch where my dart stopped. Can you see? So it means I'm taking off this line right away. But now I'm going to replace this 0.5 on the waistline to. Alright people, so you can see I've quickly replaced my dart. Okay, the 0.5, I added it up and blended my line. I kept my rule to this part and also my hip curve to the hip. Okay, that's how I got this line. So right now I'm going to extend this line because we are going to cut off is a princess dart. And remember, this is a zipper. Okay, sorry, not a zipper. There's no zipper at the back. So I'm going to cut off. There's no zipper at all. So we are going to add our seam allowances to stitch. Okay, that will be on the fabric. So let me quickly cut off the back right now. Okay, so I will cut to the princess dart line. Okay, so I'll cut my line through the contour line, which I replaced. Then I'll come over to the neckline, cut off my neckline. Then I'll go in this way, stop at this point, then continue my line. Okay, all right, so you can see that right away. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to cut through the princess dart back. All right, so this is what we are going to have for the back right now. You can see that is how your back is going to look like. So this back also, I'm going to cut 2 times. Okay, then I'll stitch up my dart 2 times. I will stitch up this dart to this. Okay, so we are done with the back. So I just want to show you how to achieve the sleeve as well. Okay, that's beautiful people. So you can see my basic long sleeve right now. Okay, this is my sleeve, the long sleeve for that funnel sleeve you are seeing out there in the screen. Okay, so right now I'm going to alterate this pattern to a funnel sleeve pattern. Okay, so what I'm going to do right away is to slash, then I will spread. So to slash and spread, I'm going to take first of all what I have on the wrist, and I'm going to share what I have on the wrist at 2 inches. Can you see? Okay, so now I've shared it at 2 inches. I'll come over to what I have on the cap height as well, and I'm going to also share it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to share it into 4. 16 by 4, I'll share 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, I will share at 3 inches or 3.25. So all I'm doing is to have exactly the same, because I'm going to connect these lines. Can you see? So you just share it equally so the lines can be connected evenly. Can you see? That is what I'm doing here, and I believe you understand what I just did. So now you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels. So I'm going to cut off these panels, but I will still extend this line. I'll keep extending till it gets to the cap, to the sleeve head. Okay, then I'm going to cut off right away. So now what I'm going to do is to cut. Okay, so when you are cutting, please don't cut off everything. You can see I'm not cutting off everything because the sleeve head remains the same. Okay, we are still going to, what we are slashing is just the lower part of it to give us the funnel sleeve. So I'll place a paper below, and I'm going to start right from the edge to slash and spread. Okay, I might just start at the midpoint. Okay, so let me just rule a line so I can slash and spread. Okay, so I'll just rule a line here, and that will be the part at which I'm going to place my sleeve. So I'm going to place my sleeve at the center right now. I'll apply my adhesive to hold it down. Can you see? You can see where I'm placing it right now. So I'll start spreading. Okay, I will start spreading. So I'm spreading, making sure everything is equal and at the same length at which I need this. So I'll be starting from the center panel right now. I'll keep the center panel at the center where you see it, and I'll slash at 4 inches because I really need a big funnel sleeve. Okay, so that is my 4 inches. I'll just put up my, okay, all right, that is what I have in there. Now the next is the next one. I'll also slash at 4 inches and make my mark. Then I'll also apply my adhesive to hold it down. Then I'll come over to this part. I'll also slash from the center point at 4 inches. You can see my 4 inches. Okay, this is the mark. I'll also apply my adhesive to hold it down at 4 inches. I'll do the same for this at 4 inches as well. I will make a mark to it at 4 inches. Okay, so that is going to be the end of my slash and spread. So the next thing I'll do right now is to quickly connect. I'm going to quickly connect, okay, to have that flay effect. Can you see? So right now I still have this part intact. You can see that is where our sleeve head is going to be fit to our sleeve, so it's still there. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to cut. I'll cut. Now you see, then I'll come over here, then I'll come over here, I'll follow exactly the path, then I'm going to cut. You can see I have my funnel sleeve right now. Alright, so that is what we expected for that sleeve. Can you see? So this sleeve I'm going to cut 2 times of it for the other part. So you see, that is the sleeve right now. So once the sleeve is fixed, you can see the funnel, okay, how I slash it. So if you think this 4 inches is too much, you can slash at 3 inches. It depends on how wide you want this outer part to be, but make sure that this part is not slashed, okay? If not, it will give you another thing. This part, the sleeve head, has to remain the same. All right, people, so you can see I'm done cutting my fabric right now, okay? So this is the front part of my wrap dress. Can you see I've cut and I've added my seam allowances? You can see the bustier part. So you can see my seam allowances, I added 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 all over, but at the hem I added 1 inch. I added 0.5 on the hem and 1 inch by the side, okay? For your side seam, 1 inch, your hem, 1 inch. Can you see? All right. So now you can see I have 2 colors. I want to make a combination of them. You can see the 2 colors, okay? So coming over to the back as well, you can see the back. I cut 2 times of the back of same fabric. Can you see? And this is the princess, that part of it. I cut 2 back of it as well. All right, so the next thing I want to do right now, I want to, for clearer understanding, I'm taking off my patterns right now. And remember to notch your bust point. You can see I notched my under bust and my bust point. I notched even the bust point here. You can see the notch and the under bust. That will help you to know how to fix it. Okay, so right now I'm going to my machine right away and I'm going to sew my bust dart. Okay, this is just a demonstration. I'm not padding, I'm not estering, I'm not doing anything. I just want to demonstrate to you. But when you are making yours, please make sure you pad your full bust padding. I'll be dropping the link on how to pad your dress. I'll drop it on the description box below, and how to sew off your princess dart as well. I'll drop them on the description box. So right now I'll go to my machine and I'll sew from the under, okay, to my bust point, under bust to bust point, then to the princess dart. I'll do that for these 2. I'll do that for the back. I'll join them together. Then I'll show you where you are going to attach your belt and how the belt is going to be formed. All right, people, so I'm done joining all my pieces together right now, okay? So you can see this is the back piece of this dress with the princess darts, okay? So you can see the little excess I told you. If you have on your princess dart, you can cut off. So you can see me cutting them off. Okay, so make sure you cut it off accordingly. Can you see? So that is what you expected to have at the back. Then when you are joining it, this is the front piece of my bustier. You can see the cup coming up already. All right, so I will just cut off, okay, trim it off the little excess as well. So you'll be placing the back piece this way and this other front, you are going to place it this way, okay? Can you see that? All right, now this is the part, okay? This is the part I told you about, the colored part. Can you see? So I'll also trim off the excess I have in there. All right, so now This is how you are going to have this part. So you are going to join your shoulder seam lines. You join your shoulder seam line as well. Now we are going to attach our belt. Okay, so I have a belt here for demonstration purpose. This is how I'm going to attach a belt. Okay, so I'm attaching this belt at this point. Can you see? You see how I'm sewing it front to front. Okay, front part to front part. So I'm going to attach this belt at this point. Can you see? So it lays like this. Can you see? Now I'm also going to attach, because this particular belt right now, I'm going to tie it on this part as well. Okay, so the next belt, you can see where I attached on this part. That is why I separated the colors, so you don't get confused. So once this one is attached here, this other one will be attached here on the waistline. Please take note. So you see how I attached the belt right now. I attached it on the waistline by the back. Then I'm going to flip this and cover it up. Can you see? So I'm going to hold it down with my pin right here. You can see I'll hold it down with my pin, and after sewing I'll have the belt this way. Can you see? Then while I have this tied this way. So after sewing all, you will see how I'm going to tie the belt. So let me quickly go to my machine right now. All right, beautiful people, so I'm done stitching all the sides, everything. Like I said, this is just a demonstration. Okay, I'm not doing any finishing work or whatever. I just joined the pieces together to show you how you are going to join these pieces together. So you can see what I have here. If you are using a lining, you also join every pieces. You have two of these, the fabric and the lining, the same way you joined. Then you now put the lining and the fabric together and join them on the neckline. Okay, and also you can now hem. Okay, all right. So but this is just one piece of it. There's no lining, just to demonstrate to you. So this is the back piece of it. You can see I inserted my belt to the front part. Can you see the belt? Let me flip the front part for you so you can see the belt. Can you see where I inserted the belt? Can you see? It's on the side seam. Okay, that is the first belt. Now the next belt is the short belt that will be tied to this. You can see I also inserted two short belts. So this particular belt you are seeing in here, I'm going to tie it here first when I'll be wearing this outfit. Can you see? You can also decide to have a pressing button here, or even a button, whatever thing you want to do. So you can see how I stitched the belt. I stitched it by the side of the seam. Okay, that is how you are going to do it, by the side of the seam line. Now the next one is the other part of the wrap, which you are going to wrap to this part. Okay, so you'll be bringing this and this together. Can you see? You bring the two together and then you tie to your taste. Can you see? Okay, so you tie the belt to your taste. Okay, now at the end of the day, you are going to also fix your funnel sleeve that we drafted. You cut it out in two pieces, one for right, one for left, and you also fix it as well. All right, people, so you can see the wrap top we've been sewing all this while. Like I told you, it's a demonstration. So can you see? Now I'm going to tie my wrap. You can see this is where the belt is located. So I'll just tie my belt in here like this. Can you see that? Okay, while I still have my top. Okay, so remember what I told you, that in here I have a belt by the seam line, which I tied from inside to hold the inside in place. You can use a button in here, you can use a pressing button, whatever thing you know, but I sewed two belts to it like I showed you. Okay, so you can see how beautiful it's looking. Although the sleeve is not yet there, you can also, wear it this way like a sleeveless wrap top. Can you see, looking so beautiful and fitted? You can see the neckline, everything rhyming up together. Then this is the back. You can see the finished outlook of the back. Okay, so thank you very much for staying till the end of this video. See you in my next video. Bye.